Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Greykowski, creator of the Better Brain Blueprint and the founder of this Mastermind Alliance. Welcome back to another week. So over the last 7 days, we've had several questions come in relating to the training itself. So what I'm going to do is kind of take a global view and drop it down into some more specifics relating to the first 7 days of our training. Remember, we're using the framework of the A to Z model so that we cover pretty much everything relating to our thinking module. So this is about getting our mindset in the right place. So on day one, we talked about activating our brain. We have to realize that our brain is activated through our senses. And so it's activated not only by what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're smelling, tasting, and feeling, but it's activated by our higher levels of our intuitive brain, our higher visual centers, our higher audience centers, that little voice that talks to us inside, and also our gut feeling. So on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment, minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis, our brain is taking millions of information in. And we tend to process it through different parts of our brain. So our belief systems will really regulate where that goes as far as if it's going to be an empowering situation or a fearful situation. It can go up, and the connection we talked about, the 4 levels of the brain, it can hit that lower level of our brain if it affects our beliefs, and it can kick us into a fight or flight response. If we take it up a higher level, if we have an emotional response or some emotional memory, it can also trigger a stress response. What I want us to do is realize that on an intellectual level, that higher brain, that human brain, that cerebral cortex, we can understand that we can override some of these automatic responses that may have been ingrained early on in our life. So when we are activating our brain, the more that we can be conscious-minded and conscientious of what we're thinking about and inputting into our brain, it can drop us down into a lowered stress response. So that in mind, our brain is activated, like I say, by all of our senses. It's also acted by our eating. It's activating by our action steps and how we respond to things. It's also activated by our physical movements. So the framework of looking at our A to Z model and our team approach, this first series is all about thinking. There's been a lot of questions this last week that I'm going to answer in a second video about the gut and the brain connection and how what we eat can cause inflammation in the brain. It can actually lead to other neurological problems, and how our gut flora is so important in our brain development. So I'm going to be addressing that in a second video. This one I just want to overview how to get the most out of your training so far. So on a daily basis, if you just check in and look at how our brain is kicking into certain patterns, are we conscientious of things? Are we being aware? Go a different way to work this week. Go drive a different way. You have to think about it. You have to be conscientious about your way you're turning, left or right or straight forward. Be conscientious of every bite that you take. See it, smell it, taste it. Really feel the nutrients come into your body. Be conscientious of what you're putting into your body. Be conscientious of what you're hearing and the information you're putting into your brain, but also be conscientious of when you speak to other people, listen first and then respond. Those can lower a stress response. They can lower a fight or flight situation. That in turn is what our purpose is with this training, is to get you more empowered and less in a fight, flight, or fearful or stressed response where you either want to run and hide away from something or you become immobilized. So if you take the first 7 days, you want to activate our brain like we just talked about. Go back and look at your belief systems and see how you might be changing some of those beliefs. Look at what decisions you may have made this last week, or maybe decisions that you haven't made yet that are just weighing on you. An indecisive thought creates that stress response in our brain. So make that decision today. If you haven't been doing the energy exercises, go back, look at that video, follow it step by step. If you do it for 1 week straight, those energy exercises, that's going to empower you to realize how much better you feel on a daily basis. It stimulates the brain from that top point coming down, and it also puts you in the right state of focus. And then really look at your focus. What are you focusing on? You're focusing on proactive things. The reason for this training is to really get you focused on what is most important, and then go back. If you haven't really looked at your goals, make sure they're at the beginning of your journal. look at those goals, add to the goals, refine the goals, and realize that your health is what we're looking at. As a doctor, dealing with the wellness of not only my patients, but people as part of this community, I want to make sure that our mental state is in the right frame of mind. I've had more patients over the years have constant problems with their overall health because of how they're thinking or old patterns that are ingrained. So this is just about really cleansing, stepping back, looking at what are we thinking about on a daily basis, how we're activating our brain, our beliefs, our goals, and our overall health. We're going to be doing summarizations, but this week we had a lot of questions on the eating aspects. So I'm going to do a separate video that I'll be adding to the Better Brain Mastermind. Here's the thing too. A lot of people are asking, well, how do I get the videos sent? This challenge is that if you go to my website, betterbrainblueprint.com, and you leave at step 1 your email address, you will get all the action steps in conjunction with the videos. This is not about just watching the videos, it's answering questions. It's doing the skill mills and the drills that go along with this training for the Better Brain Mastermind. And then leave some comments, leave some questions so that we can continue to focus on that as a group so we can become healthier, become happier, and smarter through this Better Brain training. Look forward to seeing you in future videos. Have a great rest of your week.